Our lecture today is about the epithelial tissue. Tissue and tissue types in a human body. They are collection of specialized cells and cell products that organize to perform a specific function. And the histology is the science of study of different organs and tissue in the body. It's also called the microscopic anatomy, since it deals with the structures and ultrastructures of the cells and organs. In human body, we have major four types of tissue. These are the epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissue share general features. These are closely packed cells with minimum amount of extracellular matrix, and they have diverse origin from the three germ layers, which are ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm, that seen within the embryonic development. They are either forming a lining in the human body or covering the external surfaces, and they have a specific attachment to the basement membrane or basal lamina, which differentiate them from other types of tissue. And this basement membrane share in their polarity and in their adhesion and in their organization. They have a capability of regeneration or renewal, starting from the basal surface toward the upper surfaces. They are avascular, meaning they are lacking blood vessels, and they are innervated by free nerve endings, and they are subjected to metaplasia. Metaplasia meaning they can change their type of epithelium, but this is a reversible condition, not like dysplasia, which is a permanent change in the type of epithelium from one type to another, and it is a sign of malignancy. And they have a high mitotic capacity or activity, and so they are capable for renewal. They have diverse functions since they are found in different parts of the body. They are aid in protection, such as in the organ of skin, which is a covering external surfaces, and they are found in the lining in the internal organs, such as the gastrointestinal tract, respiratory, renal, reproductive, circulatory system, and internal body cavities, including the pleura, peritoneal, and pericardial cavity. They are found in the gland structure, so they are functioning in secretion. They are found within the taste buds, so they are act in sensation. They are found as a part of myoepithelial cells, and they have contraction capability and act as a barrier, which is found as in the blood-brain barrier, blood-CSF barrier, and the blood-air barrier, and the filtration barrier of the kidney. The basal lamina, which is a main characteristic feature of epithelial tissue, made by two parts, lamina lucida, which is a loose one, and a lamina densa, is found in the basal portion of epithelial tissue, to which it is attached by hemidesmosome. Classification of epithelial tissue. It is divided according to their structure and function. To their functions, either forming a covering epithelium or forming a glandular epithelium. To their structure is divided according if it's found in single layer, so it's called simple epithelium, or it's found in more than one layer, it's called stratified epithelium, or another form called a pseudostratified epithelium, and there is a fourth type called transitional epithelium. A simple epithelium, as we've seen, it is made by one row of cells that rest on a basal lamina, while the stratified epithelium is made by more than one row of cells. The basal one only rests on the basal lamina. The classification of epithelium depends on the shape of the cells in the apical row. If it's flattened, so it's called squamous. It is cuboidal elongated, and it is equal in dimensions called cuboidal, and it is elongated called columnar, and here they differ in the shape of the nucleus within the cell. So we have a simple and stratified, and the classification depends on the shape of the cells in their apical row. This is a simple squamous, while this is a stratified squamous. And this is simple cuboidal, and this is stratified cuboidal. This is a simple columnar, and this is a stratified columnar. We have a specific epithelium in different organs in the human body, starting with the simple squamous epithelium. Is found in form of endothelium that lining the blood vessels, or found within a lining of body cavities called mesothelium, or find in this section we have a section in the capillary that lined by simple squamous epithelium, which is called the endothelium. Also, the simple squamous epithelium can be found in the parietal layer of Bowman capsule, and while the visceral layer found intermingled with the glomerular capillaries. Simple cuboidal epithelium is found in kidney tubules and found in the intercalated and interlobular duct of glands, and it is either contain a free surface or sometimes contain specific specialization. In the kidney tubule, we can see the simple cuboidal epithelium found in the kidney tubules. Also, we can see the simple cuboidal epithelium covering the surface of the ovary in the female reproductive tract. Simple columnar epithelium can see in the lining in the stomach, intestine, rectum, uterus, oviduct, as well as the large duct of certain glands. In this section, we can see a simple columnar epithelium found in the lining of the duodenum, which is part of the small intestine. And we have in between the simple columnar cells a specific type of secretory cells called the goblet cells. Pseudostratified columnar epithelium found in the respiratory system called respiratory epithelium, and some part of the male reproductive tract, specifically the epididymis. The pseudostratified columnar epithelium, in which we have different rows of nuclei, but only one, all of them rest on a basal lamina, and not all of them reaching the free luminal surface. Here also we can see specific specialization in the apical surface. So this is a pseudostratified epithelium. All the cells rest on a basal lamina. Not all of the cells reaching the luminal surface. We have a basal cells not reaching the free luminal surface. Stratified squamous epithelium, in which we have two forms, either keratinized, which is found in the skin. Here we have the epidermis of the skin covered by stratified squamous keratinized epithelium. Here the keratin layer characterized by the presence of dead cornified epithelial cells, or non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium that found in the lining of the esophagus, or in the oral cavity, or in the anal canal, in which the stratified squamous epithelium is devoid of keratin layer. Stratified cuboidal epithelium can be seen in some ducts of certain glands, which aid in protection, secretion, and absorption. Here we have a section in the skin, in which we have a section of a sweaty gland. The duct region of the sweaty gland of the skin is lined by stratified cuboidal epithelium. Stratified columnar epithelium can be seen in specific location in the pharynx, epiglottis, anus, mammary gland, salivary gland, and in the urethra. It contains two layers of columnar epithelium. Stratified columnar epithelium also can in the parotid gland duct. We can see the basal lamina and two rows of columnar cells. Transitional epithelium is a specific epithelium seen in the urinary system, starting from the renal pelvis, ureter, and the urinary bladder, and the urethra. It contains a specific type of cells called the apical or dumb cells that have a specific specificity of expansion when the bladder is filled. So we can see it is in two forms, and when the urinary bladder is empty and when the urinary bladder is filled. Can see an expansion of the apical cells, which are called dumb cells or called umbrella cells. Polarity of epithelial tissue. Polarity meaning that asymmetry of epithelial surfaces. This reflects specific function